Good morning, folks. Good morning from sunny San Jose, California. Today's a super exciting day for all of us here at GroundHog. We've been working very hard on what we are going to show you for about a year and a half now, and we are super excited about the launch of our new platform, which is the GroundHog Maintenance Cloud. This is our newest offering. And today I'm joined here by two esteemed partners, folks who we've worked very closely with over the past year and a half. First off, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ryan Payne. He is the asset executive at Cementation Americas and is responsible for all of their assets here in North America, from heavy equipment all the way down to compressors, everything they use. Ryan?
Yeah, hey, Ryan Payne, asset executive for Cementation. As Satish mentioned, I'm the responsible for all our equipment that Cementation operates throughout the Americas. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've been with Cementation for about 17 years. And just thanks, Satish, for having us on here. A lot of effort has gone into the work here by GroundHog, and a lot of collaboration between GroundHog and Cementation. So excited for this launch.
Oh, honored to be working with you, Ryan. We also have Jesse Smith on the call. He is the corporate maintenance planner for Cementation Americas. He is responsible for all of their maintenance strategy and their maintenance plans for all of Cementation North America. Jesse, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Jesse Smith. I'm very excited to be here. Looking forward to this. Planner here with Cementation for just over 3 years. My background, I've been in Oracle, SAP, lots of different ERP systems. We're happy with this collaboration, and I look forward to talking about it further in this webinar.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. For folks that don't know, Cementation is one of the largest underground mining contractors here in North America. They work on a lot of projects up in Canada, in the US, and Mexico. And through their partners, they also work worldwide. They have an emphasis on safety, and they are one of the most technologically advanced mining contractors that I've worked with over these past 10 years. Just wanted to share that about Cementation. My name is Satish Penmetsa. I'm one of the co-founders of GroundHog. For those of you who have not interacted with GroundHog in the past, I have a quick video to show you.
iPhone.
Satish, I think we can't see your screen and the video. Can you just play it again? Yeah.
Well, let me just restart then.
iPhone.
So over the past 10 years, we have built one of the most powerful mine digitization and automation platform that is used at many mine sites. We started out with short interval control and then expanded quickly to open pit and underground fleet management systems, and then expanded out to quality control and grade control and stockpile management. And then we also do collision alerts and real-time location tracking. And then all of this data gets pulled into the centralized GroundHog Cloud to create analytics and present insights, both for folks at the mine site as well as up at corporate. In addition to all of this functionality, we also have one of the best and most powerful mining maintenance module that is used at sites. The primary purpose of that module is it's to maximize availability at a site. So things like capturing hour meter readings, doing pre-start inspections, managing backlogs, doing PM schedules, verifying that those PMs are done. All of that is tracked in this maintenance module. We are used and loved by customers all over the world. We have a lot of installs, here in North America as well as out in Australia. And we are used at quite a few cementation project sites. And I mean, they do a phenomenal job of incorporating technology into all of their processes. While working with these cementation project sites, what we identified is, the site has a specific set of maintenance needs that our product does satisfy, which is basically to capture all the hour meter readings, do all the pre-start inspections, keep track of backlogs, as I said before, do the PM scheduling, verify compliance to those PM schedules, and then also manage breakdowns. At the core, what we were focusing on is maximizing availability of the fleet at a site. And then we started talking to folks up at corporate, to Ryan and Jesse and the rest of his team. And what we found is that the corporate teams have a much larger mandate. To explain this mandate further, I'd like to request Ryan to share his insights into what goes into, managing large fleets. Ryan, over to you.
Thanks, Satish. Yeah, so on a corporate level, although there is certainly overlap with what we want to see from our sites, we want to see kind of a more holistic view of the equipment health across all our sites. So at a corporate level, we might have the asset group, which is managed by myself, but we also have our area managers, which are over top of the project manager on their site. Might want to see a more general or high level condition of our equipment, so that they might want to see what the overall availability is, kind of maybe some trending on downs, but really not get into the detailed daily condition of the equipment, not keeping the equipment running and sort of the day-to-day activities, but more a high-level view of what the equipment's doing. So we needed a kind of a platform to be able to see that on as many as 5, 10, 15 sites easily to maneuver and see on a high level the condition of the equipment, but also get into things like PM compliance, making sure that our sites are doing the PMs, are keeping on top of their PMs. One of the biggest areas we focused on as well is component tracking. So we're looking at the condition of the main components of all the equipment. Are we approaching midlife? Are we approaching end of life? How are we doing with parts? Are we ready to make those component changes? And then also how generally we work is our equipment doesn't stay on a project for its entire life. It's going to come back to our head office shops for midlife repairs or full rebuild. So we want to be aware of the condition of that equipment before it comes back, so we can properly plan what kind of repair we're going to do, or is it ready for sale to be disposed of, and we got to start planning for future purchases. So really, we're trying to see that whole view of the equipment operating throughout the Americas in a very easily viewed platform.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Jesse, would you like to add anything to that? Maybe share your perspectives as well.
Yeah, I think Ryan covered most of it there. Didn't leave me too much, but one thing we can mention is we have lots of different gear between Epiroc, Cat, McLean, a lot of others. With this, we'll be able to narrow it down what units we're having problems with, is a certain type, whatnot. We can then decide what unit to buy next, right? If we're having problems with A, we can go to unit B and buy more of them for the next project, right? So that's in there too. That's something we look at. Going along with the component tracking, it helps with our budget for the next year. We know, your components are very, very expensive nowadays. So being able to keep track of all the major components, we know what's replaced on each unit, and then we can forecast our budget for the next year, and we'll be able to get it a lot closer by doing this. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are not new problems, right, Ryan and Jesse? I mean, these problems have existed for generations, I guess, ever since the first cars came out. So out in the market, there have been a lot of computerized maintenance management systems, at least for the past 30, 40 years. So when we were looking at the market, we looked at, primarily two vectors. When we were looking at maintenance software about what's out in the market. And the two that we focused, the two parameters that we focused on was, well, there are these maintenance management systems. If you go to the App Store and search for maintenance, you will come up with thousands upon thousands of apps out there professing to help you with your maintenance. So when you look at all of that software and plot them along two axes, one, just saying, hey, is this piece of software built for mining? Because the way you maintain a mining haul truck is very different from maintaining, your car, for example. And then on the other vector, when you look at, how easy it is to use, what you find is that, of most of the popular software, they come under these sorts of categories where, there's a lot of software like SAP, Oracle's JD Edwards, Bentley, RPM Global, IBM's Maximo. All of these are like ERP grade asset lifecycle management systems. And then there's, the newer age, super easy to download and use systems as well. But they seem to be very focused on general purpose use cases and not necessarily built for mining. So what we find is a lot of times mining companies and mining contractors, especially at a site, they still use Excel. Is that what you see as well, Jesse and Ryan, when you go explore and analyze what's available in the market?
yeah, I would believe so. I agree with that. Excel is used quite widely. I know, just talking with other people here and there, even though they have these larger ERP systems, you still dig down into it and they still use Excel on the side. So I would tend to agree with you.
Yeah, okay. And I know you've used the ERPs in the past, like the SAPs and the JD Edwards. Would you mind sharing those experiences? I know they are super powerful systems. And we know that most of the large mining houses use either JD Edwards or SAP. Can you share any insights that you may have into those systems? Powerful
Yep.
systems,
Yep,
nonetheless.
absolutely. I've used both of them. I was heavy into SAP, a key user for many, many years. They're fantastic systems, amazing systems, whatever you can think of, they can do, but they tend to be very complicated. It takes teams to do implementations. It takes teams to run them. You have to hire extra personnel. So this is where GroundHog kind of comes into play, where we get the same end results, the same analytics, the same whatever you need to see at a site or corporate level, but you're able to do it with half the people probably, if not less. So it's amazing what they've done here, building this program, as it's very simple, but you're still getting the same results and you're still seeing the same things that SAP or Oracle or whoever it may be. You're getting the same results with less people. So that way we can be more competitive as we're a contractor. So we don't need the overhead as much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those insights, Jesse. And like Jesse mentioned, right, there are powerful systems, but a lot of them are not that easy to use. So we found a gap in the market, along with Cementation's help, saying, hey, you know what, there is a need for a product in the market that is powerful as some of the ERPs, but also should be super easy to use, so that you don't need to spend too much time training folks. It should be as easy as using Excel, right? So that's the area that we focused on, and that is the whole purpose and the architecture behind the GroundHog Maintenance Cloud, which I'd like to share with you. And we jointly developed this with Cementation. We used a lot of their insights. We spoke to all of their corporate team, not just Ryan and Jesse. We spoke to Ryan Tamlin and Anne and others. And then we also worked with folks at the sites like Steve Imenchu, Jeremy, and others. So the product finally it's powerful and scalable for corporate use, where, as Ryan and Jesse mentioned, you need to be able to track components, you need to be able to track your PM compliances across all of your sites, not just a specific project site or a specific mine site. You want to track asset health across all of your project sites. You want to be able to integrate with telemetry, because a lot of your PM scheduling is dependent on hour meter reads, and maintenance technicians sometimes do have fat fingers, and you don't want to accidentally trigger a maintenance a schedule that it's hard to unwind. It should be reliability engineering ready, provide powerful analytics, provide multi-site support. So you should be able to move machines from one site to another seamlessly, and also maintain its maintenance history. And then it needs to be built, or it is fit for purpose for the mining industry.
Hey, Satish, I'd just like to add, and you mentioned there, the data stays with the equipment as you move it from project to project. That's a big challenge with, if you're using Excel, you've got to move all that history in a database that's, not very simple, where this, you transfer it from project to a project or back to your shop, that all that data stays with it. You can easily see what components have been changed, and the history, the backlogs, all that stuff stays with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was one of those things that we didn't have in mind, but thanks to this collaboration, we found that it was super important for companies like Cementation, and we incorporated that into the product. At the same time, it had to be super easy for folks like Jeremy and Dalton to use at site. So the focus at a particular site is still to increase your fleet availability at the site for ops, easily manage breakdowns and PMs, and you should be able to easily create daily maintenance pass downs for your maintenance crew. Track and clear backlogs as and when you find these backlogs, things to improve, on things to fix that are not typically taken care of in the PM schedules, but still have to be done. And then provide full visibility for ops so that folks like Steve can know when a machine is going to be available for them to use. And then also, there is a easy to use app to perform inspections and repairs for compliance tracking. So that is some of the background about the maintenance cloud. We will head on over to a demo. A couple of things I forgot to add at the start of the meeting is if you have questions, please, type them up in the chat. We will respond to all of these questions. And if you are interested in this demo is going to be maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. A full end-to-end demo typically takes about an hour and a half. If you're interested in a full demo, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to do a demo for you. And also we'll be able to do a quick pilot, a free 6-week pilot at your site. We'll share information towards the end of this meeting. With that, I will switch over to the hands-on demo. So this is what a corporate view looks like for a machine. So when I go into the equipment, I'll be able to see all of my machines that are in my portfolio. For example, this BLT 0306 is an Epiroc M10. And it's a 2-boom jumbo, and it's currently at the Ruby Hill project site. I want to see details about that machine. I just click on it. I look at what the availability is, and I look at all the components that I'm currently tracking on that machine, including all the meter reads. Typically, all the meter reads are done at the site. So I'll show you how meter reads get updated when I show you the site. These are all the major components on the machine. You can add and remove as many components as you want to track. You can drill down. And when these components get changed over, their component hours get reset to 0. And then, you still keep tracking to the lifetime. Assets. And OEMs provide changeout intervals, recommended changeout intervals. We track your completion to that particular changeout interval. So when maintenance planners and reliability engineers like Jesse look at the data, they know which components to actually buy and stock up as well at various sites. You are able to see all the current breakdowns across all of your fleet. You're able to look at all the work orders currently, in the system across your entire fleet, across all of your projects. And then from a maintenance planning standpoint, you're also able to see all the current work orders that need to get processed at these sites. When one of the main things that we talked about is the ability to move a machine from one site to another site. What we do is, for example, if you have to transfer this 2-boom Sandvik DL321 from Eli Gold mine site to the Ruby Hill project, all an administrator at the corporate site would need to do is just click on transfer. When you click on transfer, it takes you through a workflow that enables you to transfer that particular machine to the new project site. I clicked on no, take me back. So let me redo that transfer. I say, yeah, select the site that I want to transfer to. I say Ruby Hill. When I confirm, basically it transfers all the component history, the hour meter reading history, all of your pre-start inspections, all of your backlogs, all the work orders that were part of that particular machine. It transfers all of them over to the Ruby Hill project so that the maintenance superintendents and the maintenance technicians currently at that new project site have access to the entire maintenance history of that machine. Entire maintenance history, entire component history, all the backlogs, everything. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. So once that piece of equipment is transferred, what I do is I, as a corporate maintenance planner, should be able to switch to a particular site and then see what the maintenance superintendent at that particular site sees as well. This includes a simple enough dashboard that keeps track of your MTBF, MTTR, what the down frequencies are, in which subsystems. It gives you how old some of these downs were. Everything that a guy like Jeremy at a site as a maintenance superintendent will need to maximize availability of his fleet on any given day. So when Jeremy goes into his equipment, he can see all his subset of equipment that are currently at his site. And then when I look at a particular piece of gear, for example, Bolter 03008, which is an Atlas Copco M2C, I know all of my engine hours, the component hours on each of my subcomponents. Like I said, each make and model of a machine can have its own set of subcomponents, and we keep track of how close they are to getting replaced. For example, the front axle here has another 1,289 hours remaining. To edit the meter reads, you can either do it through the web interface or through the app, and you can just go in here and just change this to 4,719.6, 4,647.2, 0.9, and then you just save. And what you will see is that these metrics and the remaining component hours also change accordingly. And it all depends on, for example, the axle hours are dependent on the engine hours. So all of that dependencies are all taken care of within the system and auto-calculated. A lot of mines still use Excel to manage all these components and the component tracking and the changeovers and whatnot. We pulled everything into a very simple and easy to use interface so that folks like Jeremy can focus more time on repairing machines than on entering data into Excel and then sending it out to a data entry clerk who then enters it into SAP. Okay. Is there anything you guys want to share, Jesse and Ryan here?
I'll just note that Satish, like the meter readings there are configured, I guess is the right word, for the type of equipment. So in this case, we got a jumbo and it's got engine, percussion, and percussion hours. If it was a scoop, it might just show the engine hours there, and it's configurable. So you can add, I think, electric motor hours or other, depending on what type of equipment you have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Then if you want to look at the PM compliance, the current engine hour reading is about 4,719. What we do is we keep track of your PM compliance, from the time you got the machine and all the way until now. Since we are at about 4,700 odd engine hours, your next maintenance is supposed to be 1,000-hour maintenance. The way you read this is, folks actually did the 250, 500, and 1,000-hour maintenance, but they did not perform that first 750-hour maintenance, PM. They did the 1,000-hour, 1,250, 1,500, and 1,500, 1,750, and 2,000-hour maintenance. This is a list of all the open work orders for the piece of equipment. And this is a list of all the backlogs that are currently associated with the equipment. When you look at all the work orders, maybe you install a computer at your shop, and if you're working on Bolter 0308, we see that there is a work order that has just a backlog item in it. If I look at this, I also see that, you know, there is another work order that's currently in progress. I'm trying to find a machine that has a PM schedule already assigned to it so that I can perform the PM on it. If not, we'll go ahead and create a work order for it. Anyway, so if you want to look at, you know, the progress of a machine, you just click on this, and, you know, these are all the backlog items, and you can fix a particular backlog item by saying, look, replace and then you can upload a picture and then mark it as fixed and just save it. In addition to all of this, what folks are able to do is also add all the timesheets. So if I go into a particular backlog, I can say, look, I worked on this, you know, Dave worked on this for about an hour. And this keeps track of all the costs associated with maintaining this particular piece of equipment. Okay. I'm able to also look at all of my breakdowns. If this particular machine is broken down, I can create a new work order, you know, say, you know, start fixing this. Alternatively, if I don't have a work order, I can always go in and create a new work order. This can be tied into SAP or JD Edwards if the site is currently using JD Edwards. And then let me create a new work order for Bolter 0308, where I'm going to do the 2-boom jumbo 250-hour maintenance. The estimated hours is about 8 hours. And then I can add any backlogs that are remaining for this particular machine, or I can create new backlog items. Say I want to replace the, it's not on the boom, but let's just say on the chassis, I'm going to replace the wipers on the chassis, and this takes less than 30 minutes. And if I want to provide additional details, I can provide them. So we end up creating a new work order that can be done in parallel along with the 250-hour maintenance, and then just save it. I should be able to add supervisor notes. The technician should be able to add their notes. And the total estimated time for this particular work order is going to be about 8.5 hours, and we keep track of that. We need to set a primary technician. We'll set Curtis as the primary technician, and we'll save it. Okay. So we just created a new work order that includes, you know, replacing the wipers and doing a PM, the 2-boom jumbo 250-hour PM. So a technician like Dalton would go in, and this is the GroundHog CMMS app. When you launch, you'll be able to see all the work orders that are currently associated with Curtis, and I can look for all the work orders that are open for this particular machine. And if this is a particular work order that I need to currently start on, I can say perform this inspection. It'll ask me for the last known engine hours. I can enter those last known engine hours. And there is a very easy to use app-based a form-based thing where, if he's completed all of these items, where, after he's lubricated all the grease points, he marks it as, he's done that. And, we keep track of which technician actually performed this activity. If something is degraded, we mark it as degraded, and you can add a backlog item. And if I need to add additional notes, I just click on that and add additional notes. Say needs work. And if I want to add a picture to that, I can just go say, take a picture. Let's say this is the picture you want to add, right? You just add it, you use it, and you save it. Okay, so now there's pictures associated with this. After I'm done with my particular shift, the next guy can come over and continue work. So when we look at the progress right now, when we look at the progress of that particular work order, you will see, oh, I did not save it. Okay. Let me just redo these activities. And then when I refresh, now I'll see that that particular work order is currently in progress. And after everything gets done, you'll be able to see the final status of these work orders by, let's take another example here. This is an example of work orders that were currently in progress. You could go in and take over from Mike and then finish the rest of the work orders. Okay. So like I said, it's a very powerful system built primarily with maintenance use cases in mind. The other thing that we do is there is a easy to use planning module. So whenever you have work orders created, but not assigned to a particular time, they all show up on your right-hand bar. And all you need to do is just drag and drop this particular work order onto a particular date. It takes into account the total estimated work time for that particular work hour, for that particular PM, and just assigns it to the pass down sheet. So like I said, anything in a green is the work order is completed. Anything in a blue is it's in progress. Anything in the gray is it's not started yet. If you want to look at all the backlogs again, you go to the backlogs. These have this particular backlog was created on the 16th of July on TH550. It had to do with axles, and you had to measure the disk, and then these are associated pictures for that. So, like I said, the system's pretty powerful. You can do a lot of analytics. All of this data gets pulled into Power BI. There's a lot of inbuilt analytics. You can also export all of this into Power BI and, just do advanced analytics in Power BI. And then there's a simple and easy to use app for technicians and superintendents so that they can perform PM scheduling, down maintenance, entering the hour meter readings, all of that from one single interface. Okay. That concludes our demo for today. If you have any questions, we can move on to the Q&A section right now. Are there any questions, Sarupya?
No, you just did you want to do the why groundhog those things before we move on to
Ah,
Q&A?
sure. So, so why choose GroundHog, right? At GroundHog, we have a very comprehensive suite of applications for operations, safety, and now the maintenance as well. We have intuitive, easy to use apps. The systems are powerful and scalable and very easily customizable. It's a 100% cloud-based solution. Setup is fairly quick and easy. It takes you less than a day or so to get up and running. And we provide amazing 24/7 support. We have a lot of customers that will vouch for our support. Was there anything that you guys wanted to add, Jesse and Ryan?
Yeah, I'll add, Satish, that, you know, we had started working with GroundHog on one of our projects. I believe it was short interval control we started with, but during that, started the preliminary development of the maintenance module. And for us, why we went this way, the ability to be customizable really struck us as something that was important. When we were working through our CMS previously, we got stuck where we would want certain things done, and it just wasn't possible. Whereas when we approached GroundHog, it was, yeah, of course we can do that. And then the ease of use, that's a big one. We want our maintenance people on site to be focused on performing maintenance, not navigating a complicated system, you know. So those are the two big reasons for us. So I'll just leave it there.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So, like we said, we are offering a 6-week trial. If you guys want to sign up for a trial, please scan this QR code, fill out the form. And like I also said before, the entire end-to-end demo takes about an hour and a half. We've tried to compress that into about 15 minutes. With that, we will switch to the Q&A section. Any questions in there, Sarupya?
Yeah, so there are a few questions that came through. The first one is from Matt. Are you able to pull up parts or part numbers for a specific piece of equipment within this program for ease of use from the mechanic ordering the required parts?
Right. So today it's, I mean, we do have a parts management system that we will be integrating with the CMMS system. Right now, they're two separate systems. With the integrations with SAP and JD Edwards, we will be able to also do procurements through the GroundHog system. The CMMS is not going to be a procurement management system. It's going to be a maintenance management system that will include all the parts. It's not there today, but hopefully in the next version, which will come out in about 3 to 4 months, all the parts management will also be part of the system. Thank you, Matt.
The next one is from Chris. Is there the ability to add guided work instructions to the work order?
There is a mechanism to upload reference documents. I haven't shown it to you. You can add files and associate those files with equipment so that if you're performing a 250-hour maintenance, you can pull up that particular document. That's one. Number two, within the 250-hour and 500-hour maintenance schedules, there's the ability to add pictures, reference pictures on what you should be looking at and what you should be checking. There's also documents that you can associate, additional instructions that you can include with every question so that if folks have questions, they can just pull those up on demand. So that capability exists, yes.
Thank you. There are a couple more. How does the maintenance cloud integrate with existing systems?
Yeah, so it natively integrates with other GroundHog software like the Ops Cloud. With other systems, I mean, SAP and JD Edwards are highly customized. So we'll just have to look at, I mean, those sorts of connectors exist. We just need to see how your systems have been deployed, what your APIs currently look like, and what your data ingestion process looks like. And I mean, customization to integrate with your specific instance of JD Edwards or SAP, you're looking at maybe 6 to 8 weeks tops for a very tightly integrated system.
And what are the hardware and software requirements for using Maintenance Cloud?
The hardware requirements, I mean, since it runs in the cloud, all you need is a browser, a Chrome or Edge browser would work. For the apps itself, I mean, any tablet, I mean, we currently support tablets and we will be supporting the phone form factors as well shortly. So any iPad or any Android tablet, uh, you know, would work. You don't need any additional hardware for the CMMS to run.
These were some of the online questions. We did ask people ahead of time to provide questions. So there were a few questions that came through. One is for Ryan and Jesse. Can you share an example of how you are using GroundHog solution and how it has helped? A specific example where you can say it helped in improving some metric that you have.
So right now we are just still building this with GroundHog. We've done a lot of testing. So that being said, we kind of covered most of it throughout the video here, but our component tracking, life of assets, when do we have to change major components? You can have inventory there ahead of time instead of having it too late, having it to be rushed in. Another thing that I really enjoy about this is the work orders. You can combine multiple backlogs. So instead of the planner handing out 7 different work orders, you can combine it to one. It's less confusion. That's something I really like about it. Yeah, there's lots that could go on.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. One more. How quick is the setup process? What are the steps involved?
Yeah, since this is a cloud-based system, I mean, from a technical standpoint, it's a it's a 5-minute process. What typically takes longer is to actually import your systems itself, or import your makes and models, and configure which components you guys want to track. So you're looking at maybe about a couple of weeks worth of setup, so to speak, and then maybe about 4 to 6 weeks of UAT, where you actually work with the program to make sure that all the workflows align with your work processes. So end to end, you're maybe looking at about a 2-month fully baked rollout. The technical setup, like I said, is, yeah, it takes a few minutes. But the onboarding process is what takes longer. And for every customer, you will have a dedicated team working with you. We will have we have a customer success manager who will work with you. Lisa Daniels heads our customer success group. She and her team will be closely involved with you to import all the processes, to import all the data and the associated processes and workflows to make sure that it works for you. Yeah, so that's what we are looking at from a timeline and a process standpoint.
So thank you, Satish. Another question. This is again probably for Ryan and Jesse. What are the common challenges you faced in implementing such a solution, whether it's integration with existing systems, data security concerns, maybe the top couple challenges from your perspective?
I'd say, well, right now we're still at the implementation phase, so we're testing out all that right now. I think that the challenge is always going to be getting the buy-in to continue using the system, and that's where we've tried to make it as simple as possible for the people on site to use it, and not waste their day trying to navigate through the system. The ease of use is the big key item. So yeah, we're still in that implementation phase. So I'd say that's where we're going to see the challenge.
That's great. And Satish, do you want to just add to this as well from your perspective? What do you see? Because you have seen a lot of implementations on the ops side of it, right?
So what I see, and I mean, this is just to echo what Ryan just said, and Jesse mentioned these earlier as well, is it takes three things to be successful, right? People, process, and technology. So when you are doing the implementation, there's a you have to have the right people driving the process change, the change management while you're adopting this new technology, and also looking at compliance to your rollout process too. There's a lot of training that'll be involved, and it's hard to change old habits, especially if you spent years and years doing it one certain way in Excel. Now, if you pull in a system, even though it's easier to use, it still takes a while for you to unlearn what you have been doing for ages and then start applying this new process. So that's typically what we've seen as a hurdle, but it's easily surmountable because we have coaches that'll help folks through this transition. We have an amazing customer success team that helps with these transitions.
Yeah, that's great, Satish. There's one more along the same lines. Are there any cons of the system, and are there any instructions provided to the workers based on this? Again, I think this is Jesse Ryan question, right? And yeah.
Yeah, so if I understand the question correctly, there will obviously have to be some training documents. GroundHog is currently working on this, so when this is rolled out, and Satish can follow up, but there's definitely going to be some training documents to go with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, are there cons to the system? I mean, yeah, there's always pros and cons, I guess. Nothing's as flexible as Excel and paper. But then you also, if you're using Excel and paper, you're more highly likely to shoot yourself in the foot, right? It's a process that everybody will need to follow. Whereas, when you use Excel, there are things that you can skip, I guess. So is there any cons to using a system like GroundHog besides, retraining? I mean, besides time spent in retraining the workforce, I don't see any other cons, no. And even that, I mean, technology is only going to continue improving. And then at some point, that training will need to be done to move people away from Excel to a new system anyways. Might as well do it now rather than, 5 years down the line or whatever, right?
Yeah. I think that was most of our questions. It's a LinkedIn live stream, so people can always ask questions even after the session. So we'll make every attempt to answer any questions asked, right? But that's the question list. Satish, you want to take it over again?
Yeah. Thank you, Surupya. Thank you for moderating all the questions. I got nothing else except that, we have an amazing new product, which we built in collaboration, which we built with close collaboration with Cementation. And I want to thank Ryan and Jesse for, it's been an honor and a pleasure working with both of you to build this new platform that is built specifically for mining. So thank you. It's like I said, it's an honor to have partners like you folks.